You know, if you're real caught up in this three-dimensional matrix, false world situation we got going, and you just can't, I kind of feel like so many of these people are kind of like in this stagnant kind of, like they have things they need to heal, but they can't see it clearly. And they're so caught up in this weird world drama that isn't even, it is so twisted. But if you are in that kind of thing, like everything makes sense to you, you know, that you think everybody's crazy that is telling you anything that's opposite of the narrative, then you need to just, you know, for yourself, look into the other side. Look into hearing what people you don't agree with say. I say this all the time. You are not you are not fully informed if you're only getting one person's information. You have to go in and you have to see both sides of the argument. It's like people don't even understand. Like maybe they took debate out of school. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe they took debate out of school and they just think like, oh no, it's whatever your teacher tells you, that's the truth. Because you see these clips that are going on in schools, what these teachers are doing. I was like, okay, well, you're completely, you know, brainwashed zombie. I wouldn't let you touch my kids. You know, so maybe there will be some part that will release them from some of the, because I talk about this all the time, is that you are creating a karmic link. When you are putting a certain energy out there and that energy takes off and goes in a certain direction, you're linked to that energy. So how it affects other people, you have the effects of that you will have to, it is like this constant balance. So what you're putting out, you will get back. So if you're putting out like a lot of misinformation and it's causing problems, like I've said before, you know, like Matt Damon, I mean, that guy's an imbecile. Jennifer Aniston, imbecile. Rob Schneider, I had just heard too. This is nutty because I was just talking about, I watched that movie when he switches into that girl. And I was going, that was funny. I hadn't seen that in a long while. But every time you watch any old movie, it's like, oh, it's so inappropriate. They would all have to be, you know, canceled. The whole thing. So stupid. And I mean, they're taking the sense of humor out of people too. So when I said that, the person was like, oh, well, he goes after, I mean, there's a lot of young Mexican men are accusing him now. Like, just accused all over the place. So he's being accused by these Mexican guys. So, and I don't know their ages or anything like that. And I don't even know the story. I haven't seen anything about it. I know there's a lot of, you know, messed up shit in all areas, you know, in Hollywood, and I don't even know where the athletes are, all over the place. I mean, the shit is all over the place. And you don't even know how many of the people are trapped into it. Like I said yesterday about, you know, they give them these date rape drugs and then it's all for, what is that called again? It's all for when you blackmail people. So they do all of this stuff to blackmail people. I keep getting really weirded out because I've had so many people now show up at my thing, you know, serve me court papers, just tell me to call my home place, to serve me for dog stuff, to the Secret Service coming to investigate me. So now I'm like where we are right now, I'm getting a little paranoid. So, and I've got all these court cases I'm supposed to be going to. It's like, I don't want to go in their court stuff. Who knows what they're going to do to me? They'll say I did something wrong, arrest me right there, send me to the camps. Anyways, so he has come out and the same time, stupid ass Schwarzenegger, moron. But you know he's definitely dark. God. But the Rob Schneider, he's come out now and has said, you know, you shouldn't be taking our freedom. So he's standing up for the right side. So whatever his story is on the other side, at least he's, you know, standing up for the truth. And, you know, to me, that is, you know, that is part of your rebalancing your karma. These other people who are going and doing that stuff, they can't, how are they going to, Matt Damon goes and tells people, you better go get one or you are just a piece of shit. Same with Aniston. Oh my God, that girl. Yeah. Oh, she won't be your friend if you're not. Oh, okay. I'm so sad. But, you know, for them to go out and say the stuff they say. So they go out and they, you know, a spokesperson for the deep state. And then people go get these things because, oh, well, we got to do what he said. You know, he's our spokesperson. He's one of our idols, a role model. So, you know, they got to run in and go do what he says. So every single person who goes and does this because he said, that is injured, that affects their families, that is dies, all of that stuff, he's linked himself to that energy. He's linked himself to it. You see how you do that. You're supporting that energy. You're linked to it. So all those things that happen, all those people, how does he clean that up here? He doesn't even know all those people. So it's life after life after life after life to clean up the messes that you are creating. And there's a lot of people right now who are creating themselves like they're creating themselves a really a significant ordeal of, to me, it's traumatic, kind of traumatic incarnations. Because it seems like to me, and I think most people, when they're going through a hard time, most people are like, oh man, I must have done something really bad in my past life. Like, people like know in their hearts. Just like, oh, I heard another thing that somebody had popped out the other day that was like, yeah, you say it, now like go further with it. He said, yeah, the demon's in my head. I think it was something like that. Yes, you invite him in. When you don't have awareness, the energy is out there and you are, you know, tapping into certain energy. Yeah, they're in there. You have to say, you have to have discernment. You have to have awareness. You have to know you have to know who and what you are and what you're dealing with in this world. And it's not the bullshit that they're telling you. But so these people, out of, who knows if it's out of ignorance or what the hell, but you link yourself then. And so there's a lot of trauma going on associated with what they have associated or attached themselves to. The energy they have attached themselves to now is taken off a life of its own. It's a creation of a really dark energy that is all around us, and they've attached themselves to that. So everything that is affected by that, you know, just like when I was talking about, I talked about this a long time ago, and when it was on Dolores Cannon stuff. It might have been in a book or something, when she would be talking to, she would put people in the hypnosis, and then she was the one who had, she might not have been the one who figured it out, but she figured it out for herself. And then she actually started really going into it and trying to understand what was going on. When she went in and hypnotized somebody, and all of a sudden they start talking about their past lives, and she's talking to their higher self and stuff like that. So she figured out how to go in deeper with hypnosis to get into someone's their consciousness in a different way. You weren't just talking to their subconscious or whatever. So she's fascinating stuff. She's got tons of books. You can go in and see her. What are those things called when they go up and talk in front of a whole bunch of people? Conferences. She did a lot of conferences and stuff. So you can find all sorts of places where she's talking. But one of the ones when she was talking to somebody, and she had said something about Hitler and his karmic debt and stuff. And the being that she was talking to said that his karmic debt is still being accumulated because the people on the planet right now are still affected by the stuff he did. So imagine that. Just wrap your head around that. All of that karmic debt associated, I mean, there's grandkids of these people that are affected by that. All that karmic debt is going on anyone associated with that. Anyone who you can't just go and go like, well, I just did what I was told. There's no excuse. You have an internal guidance that tells you to do something different. I was lucky enough, obviously, to actually hear mine talking to me and having conversations with them when I was very small. So I always had an awareness. I talked to them all the time. They're always talking to me. I said, I could burst out laughing just standing in line by myself because they were telling me stuff funny. So, and that's where we get, these people are insane because they're talking to people who aren't there. I'm one of them. And they've always been talking to me. But so this karmic debt thing that with Hitler, even in that one, they said that Hitler's karmic debt isn't even as bad as his dad's. His dad has more karmic debt to what happened in the Holocaust than Hitler. And all of the people who are associated, all of those soldiers, all of the neighbors who told on other neighbors and got them killed, all of that stuff, you have to go back and fix that. If you don't fix stuff, if you don't start changing the energy, and there still can be stuff that's so impactful that you're still going to have to fix it. And this isn't something you can get out of. Like, you can't die and get out of your karmic debt. You can't die to get out of facing yourself, being responsible for the things you've done to other people. It's impossible. People think like they can do whatever they want and then they die and it's all gone. No, it's just beginning, dude. It is just beginning. So you've got these people who are associating themselves right now with this situation of genocide that is currently happening, and they're participating. So, if they are just stupid asses and they do wake up and they do come out of it and then they do take responsibility, they probably can lessen some of their karmic debt. But whatever things that got them to follow that, they still have to go back and learn about that. So they will have to go in and have lives to be on the other side of that. Or, there's all sorts of different things that can be happening. Like you could go in, let's just say dumbass Jennifer could go in and tell everybody, shame people and tell them, that they're below human status if they don't go and do this and if they don't wear these. And it's like, oh my God. Oh, it just gets me so infuriated with these people. But let's just say that they're that stupid and, they really need that part and they'll get some money, but you have to go on and, say this to get that. And they go in and do it because they're so desperate. They definitely can't let go of fame. They definitely can't. These people their egos are so freaking. So, if you'll do anything because your ego is so giant, you'll do anything like that, you got a lot to learn. So, let's just say that she's going out and telling all this people to go do that. And who knows what her real stand is. If she's got it, do all her friends have it? It's all lies. They're just a bunch of liars. So let's say, she does go and she doesn't get it, but grandma got it and her mom got it. A couple of her friends got it. All these different people, several people that she told, shamed them into going and getting it. So we got all these people now who went and did it. And you got half of them who keel over. Maybe something like that. And it's, part of her awakening. But you've still linked yourself karmically to something that was wrong because you didn't listen to your internal. That's why I constantly try and tell people you have got to tune in to your internal guidance. There is a mothership inside of you, and you got to listen. You've got to tune in to what's being said to you, and it will guide you. And maybe some people are just here because they are part of that negative energy, and the negative energy is coming in to twist. It's got to be negative to wake people up. I mean, we see all this negative stuff happening, so you can't really judge anybody. Like, I can't say for sure those two people, like, what their whole story is. All I know is that if you go in and you attach yourself to something like that, you will also be attached to that karmic debt. You will also have to go and live lives either to help you understand, to teach you, or to set stuff straight. Like, it's just not the kind of life like that I'm want to do. Like, this was a huge challenge. This life that I've had right now was a huge challenge, still is a huge challenge. And when we go into the ascension and we go into the higher vibration incarnations, it's not the same kind of challenges, especially in the incarnations here recently with the good and bad, to have to learn about all of that with positive and negative, and to understand how that works when there's just, so many people still just oblivious, so oblivious. So I don't know, there's going to be something that's going to happen, because everybody gets the opportunity to wake up, and for these people to be so, I mean, they're like ostriches. Their heads are so buried in the sand. They don't, you have to come up. You have to come up. You have to look around. You have to go and search for the truth. Don't just think someone's going to drop it in your lap and say, oh, okay, that was easy. That's the same thing as there's somebody coming to save me. There's a savior coming. I don't have to do any work. All I got to do is call their name. That's it. If you're in that mindset, then probably your soul's not really ready for ascension. You probably are still needing to go through a lot of these really hard lives, So, I don't know. I'm just hoping that the lights come on and that people wake up and start really trying to understand and start trying to heal. That's the most important thing right now, is healing yourself. You have to face yourself to heal yourself. So many people don't want to see the dark side. They don't even want to acknowledge that they could be the bad guy for somebody, that they have. You got to think about that old Indian thing about every single person has the good wolf and the bad wolf living inside of them. It's which wolf you feed. But you have to look at the whole thing. You can't just say, oh, well, I think I'm a good person. I'm feeding that wolf, and I don't care what anybody else says. If somebody says that I've bothered them or hurt them, that's on them. I don't care. So you gotta face those things, what people say that you've done to hurt them. You gotta heal the things that caused you, or because all of the people have just been reactive. We've been in that lower chakra energy for a long time. We've been held there. They haven't wanted us to heal. There's been a lot of souls that came here to wake other people up, which I think that's why I've been able to hear them talking to me since I was little. And I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing at this point in my life. But there's so many people who are so, just oblivious to any communication, but they think that the dark thoughts inside their heads are their own thoughts. So anyways, I feel like I go off on these things every time. But it is super important right now. You got to go in and you got to see, like, if I did these things to hurt these people or whatever, then what in me, because it's coming usually from some painful place in ourselves. That's why it's about healing, to heal those painful places that have made us be reactive and made us act out against other people. So you're the only person who can do that. There's not, I mean, I don't know how all these people are sitting here thinking like, you know, what, Jesus is coming back and he's going to run around holding everybody's hands and praying with them and they're going to suddenly be healed and everything's all peachy king. No. This is about, you know, learning who and what you are, and you have to heal yourself. And this is the time to do it. So anyways, have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.